It looks like Gypsy Rose Blanchard's sister Mia is now following in her big sister's footsteps.
Girl, I was just thinking about it. I'm not gonna do it. I did it.
Oh, Gypsy, you just put your freaking foot in your mouth every time, man. I had not even heard this clip.
I got my answer today. It's really good news. I am leaving prison and going home on my earliest out date of December 28th, 2023.
Was jumping up and down and all excited.
I'm so overwhelmed. I'm emotional. It just doesn't seem real.
Gypsy Rose Blanchard's name is making the rounds online again, but not for reasons anyone could have predicted. Her alleged postpartum recovery story has set off a firestorm of speculation. And here's why. Nothing about her pregnancy timeline seems to add up. In fact, her social media reveal has done more to fan the flames of doubt than to clear the air. It all started when Gypsy posted about her postpartum recovery, seemingly a proud moment for any new mom. But for internet sleuths, the announcement only opened the floodgates of suspicion. Reports suggest that no one saw Gypsy at the hospital where she was supposedly admitted, and no photos of her, her baby, or her family, Kristy, Mia, or even Rod, have surfaced. This is a far cry from the Blanchards' usual approach. Known for backing up their claims with receipts, their uncharacteristic silence this time has left fans and critics scratching their heads. Adding fuel to the fire is the timeline of Gypsy's alleged pregnancy. Many are pointing out inconsistencies between her posts, claiming that the dates and details don't line up. Social media has erupted with theories, from speculations about Gypsy's motives to calls for her to address the growing skepticism.
I remember when I first became a mother. Now I have a lot of kids, I have 10 kids, but I remember my firstborn coming into this world, and it was almost like a natural high. I remember for the longest time, I was elated. I couldn't get over the love I felt for this little person. I couldn't get over like, wow, I made her. I'm somebody's mom. That feeling to me was just, I'll never forget it. And for Gypsy Rose to not make a statement about her baby, but selfishly make a statement about how good she looks 6 days postpartum is exactly that. To me, that is completely selfish. I couldn't talk about how much I loved my baby enough. And again, I'm a mom of 10. I remember that about all of my children. Just that I created a new little human, and, you know, this is my baby and I love her so much, and, you know, motherhood, and, you know, we've all been there, but it just shows how completely selfish Gypsy Rose is as a person to make it about her and her looks. You would think that she would put out something about being a new mom, about loving her child, but instead, no, she made it about her and her looks.
When Gypsy dropped her postpartum recovery video, fans expected the usual heartfelt update. Maybe some cozy shots of her new baby, reflections on motherhood, or even a glimpse into her recovery journey. What they didn't expect was a wave of confusion. Gypsy looked exactly the same. Her belly showed no signs of having just carried a baby, let alone delivering one less than a week ago. Naturally, viewers couldn't help but compare her appearance to their own postpartum experiences. For most moms, those early days leave clear signs of childbirth. Yet Gypsy's physique seemed to defy those norms entirely. Now, let's be clear. Every postpartum journey is unique, and bodies can recover in different ways. But even if we put aside comparisons to others, there's something hard to ignore: the glaring inconsistencies in Gypsy's own public appearances. Critics have pointed out that her current belly looks uncannily similar to her so-called pregnant belly. And that's when the speculation exploded. Did Gypsy even give birth? Here's where it gets even messier. For months, rumors have swirled that Gypsy's entire pregnancy might have been a hoax. Fans began dissecting her photos and videos, pointing to oversized dresses, carefully positioned props, and strategic angles that seemed to create the illusion of a baby bump. Now, with her postpartum look adding fuel to the fire, the internet is in full detective mode.
Gypsy Rose Blanchard joined her friend Bree's live tonight. During that live, they talked about the quote-unquote leaked messages between her and Ryan when her account was hacked. Both Ryan and Gypsy have said these are the only messages between them that are real. The other ones that were put out were made by someone pretending to be the hacker. If you missed Ryan talking about this, then I do have a video back on January 6th where he went live and confirmed this to be true.
The ones that you had put out were his messages to me. And then right before our divorce, I had reached out to him because I really just kind of wanted a closure conversation. He kept saying that, like, it's really hard for him to move on whenever the last thing he had seen was me walking out the door. And so I was like, you know, I reached out to him, and I had talked to Ken, I talked to my dad, I talked to my sister, I talked to Kristy. I literally talked to everybody within my close circle and asked them, is this a good idea? How do you feel about it? I talked to Ken about it thoroughly. Ken said that if it brought me and him closure, he was completely, like, fine with it. Like, he didn't have a problem with that. If it helped us move on and helped us grow as people, he was fine with it. So I think it's funny that people were like, ooh, I wonder what juicy messages are in there. And I'm like, okay, literally, there's nothing in there that I would be ashamed of people seeing.
He didn't end up going to court though, right?
No, he waived his right to go, so it was just me that went. And he never responded to my message to him. But his mom and I are still on good terms. Joy is a really sweet woman, and so she is, and so she just kind of relayed to me that it would have been too hard for him to have a face-to-face with me on the day of the divorce, and I totally respected that.
Gypsy's postpartum reveal has only fueled the rumors swirling around her pregnancy. While many initially dismissed the whispers, her own actions seem to support the narrative that something isn't adding up. For starters, while Gypsy confidently showcased her postpartum body, even lifting her tank top for the camera, she never once revealed her bare pregnant belly, not even during months of nonstop speculation. Instead, she opted for oversized clothing, a choice some fans claim was an intentional effort to keep her figure under wraps. But what's really fanning the flames is Gypsy's inconsistent statements, which have only deepened the confusion among her followers. One particularly juicy contradiction came from Julie, a content creator fiercely loyal to Gypsy. Julie insisted that Gypsy had a completely natural birth, proudly citing Gypsy's claim that she pushed out her baby in just 15 minutes. Yet, in a separate post, Gypsy casually mentioned that she had received an epidural during delivery. These conflicting details have left fans scratching their heads, and the skepticism isn't letting up anytime soon.
And I feel like people keep speaking about like how she's really snatched back, but the reality is I don't feel like she really has. And this is no shade. We all have different body types, including me. And look, I'm not a fit mom, okay? But I feel like she looks sort of the same. Like she's saying active mom, but we know she's not. She's never been like active. It's not like her, you know, she gave birth and she has a six-pack and we like, oh, where did she, like, it's none of that, right? Like this picture I feel like shows you like, it's not what we're thinking. Also, I want to say that what I do think is rather odd when it comes to this picture is her hair looks longer in this picture than the picture that she gave birth. Susan Mays said that to me and sent me a picture, and I want to show you guys the picture she sent. This right here. It's something odd. I don't know, I might be off. I might not. This is just, you know, what I'm saying and what I'm saying to y'all.
Here's the kicker. An epidural, by design, numbs the lower body and eliminates the pain of childbirth. That little detail alone disqualifies it from being classified as a natural birth, doesn't it? This revelation has sparked major questions, not just about Gypsy's story, but about Julie's credibility as a so-called advocate. And let's be real, Julie's blunder is only scratching the surface of a much deeper issue. It's like clockwork. Anyone who tries to defend Gypsy ends up tangled in a web of contradictions, courtesy of her ever-shifting narrative. Take her stepmother Kristy, for instance. Kristy has stood by Gypsy's side time and time again, but her statements frequently clash with Gypsy's past claims or actions. And Kristy isn't alone in this mess. Gypsy's closest friends, Mia and Bree, have also found themselves trying to piece together a defense, only to get tripped up by conflicting details. But wait, it gets messier. Even her legal team, the very people meant to protect her, have struggled to present a consistent story when faced with her constantly evolving accounts. And as for her boyfriend, Ken, he's no exception. He's been left fumbling to keep up with her ever-changing tales too. What we're seeing is a predictable pattern. Gypsy spins a new narrative, and everyone in her corner scrambles to adjust. The result? A chaotic ripple effect that chips away at their credibility and leaves a trail of confusion in its wake. It's a vicious cycle, one that even her most loyal defenders can't escape. And as the cracks in their stories grow, so does the doubt surrounding Gypsy herself.
Gypsy, you ought to remember something. You did this. You did this. You did all this. No me. I didn't set this up. I didn't do this. You did this. So, you can't be upset about the interwebs. You can't. There's nothing you can do about it. You did this, and then you brought it. Here's Gypsy, you gotta do better. You have a whole ass baby. What are you doing with yourself? Get on the interwebs and tell us something good. Tell us you're doing something good with yourselves. Do better, Gypsy. You done went in a prison, came out, and was shit. You were worse. You're supposed to go to prison, come out a better person. Have remorse. Know what you did. Gypsy comes out giggling and laughing, having several men, and then has a whole baby. It's fine, Gypsy, but I'm gonna need you to do like sometimes. I'm gonna need you to do better.
Despite mounting skepticism, Gypsy seems completely unfazed, doubling down with statements and updates that often contradict her earlier claims. It's almost as if she's testing the public's patience, or perhaps their gullibility. This strange dance of conflicting narratives has left everyone wondering, is she orchestrating this chaos with a purpose, or is it just reckless inconsistency? At the center of it all is Gypsy herself, the undeniable common thread in these controversies. Her ability to pull people into her whirlwind of contradictions has observers questioning not only her authenticity, but also the motives of her defenders. Are they driven by blind loyalty, naivety, or something else entirely? And then there's the tangled web surrounding her pregnancy. As the timeline of events grows murkier, the theories keep piling up. Could Gypsy have used a surrogate, explaining her confident flaunting of a seemingly flawless postpartum figure? Or perhaps the baby arrived earlier than claimed, sparking whispers about paternity? Could Ryan be the father? These unanswered questions only add fuel to the fire, ensuring Gypsy's pregnancy remains a red-hot topic of debate.
So before I got pregnant, I was an hourglass. So I had big boobs and a big butt. So, and I mean, I had a more defined waist, obviously, before I got pregnant. And so now I have a rectangle because my bust and my hips were the same width to each other. So I don't have that defined waist anymore. So now I have become a rectangle shape.
Hello. Hi, I'm here for the slumber party.
Do I know you?
My name is, Girly Teen Girl.
Uh-huh.
And I just moved here from, far away though.
I know it.
Talk of tension between Gypsy and Mia is far from new.
We weren't that close. I mean, I have baby pictures. The last time I seen her until we went visit her in prison was, I was maybe 2. But we would call her for every holiday, her birthday and everything, and her mom would always tell us, don't tell her how old she is. She doesn't realize, like, she can't comprehend it. She thinks she's this old. We didn't think anything of it, whatever. And we'd call all the time. I'd go shopping with my dad for birthday presents, Christmas presents, talk on Facebook sometimes. But to say like we were really close and visited a lot, like that didn't really happen because her mom wouldn't allow it.
For years, whispers of jealousy and sibling rivalry have simmered on blogs and social media. But this latest episode has hit a nerve with fans, making the drama feel all the more personal. Gypsy herself hasn't shied away from addressing their complicated relationship, even admitting in past interviews that she struggled with envy over Mia's life. This candid revelation has only added fuel to the fire, leaving many to wonder just how strained things have become behind the scenes.
Gypsy Rose Blanchard's sister, Mia Blanchard, graduated from nursing school this weekend. And child, they collectively decided that Gypsy Rose Blanchard would not be at that graduation because they didn't want her graduation to turn into a circus. AKA, she's embarrassing, and they don't want to have to deal with that. I'm sure Mia didn't want her there regardless.
Allegedly, Mia has some deep-seated resentment toward Gypsy Rose, who many believe crashed into their family dynamic and turned it completely on its head.
When we first found out about Gypsy and Dee Dee, we heard that Gypsy was kidnapped, everything was left, and like she didn't have her wheelchair or anything, and somebody killed Dee Dee. It wasn't until later that we found out that Gypsy was actually involved. And that's when everything started coming up about how her mom was pretending that she was sick, having surgeries that were unnecessary, medicines that were unnecessary. And that was like a big blow because we always thought, like me, my mom, my dad, my brother, always thought like, oh, Gypsy, like she has something serious wrong with her, like all these things, like we did not think she was gonna live to be this old. So it was really shocking to find out that the only thing was wrong was her vision and she needed glasses.
Ever since Gypsy entered the picture, let's just say things have been far from normal. Some fans even think the tension has been brewing for years, and now it's boiling over in the most public way possible. The latest chapter in this alleged sibling saga unfolded on what should have been a monumental day for Mia, her graduation. Instead of being a celebration of her hard work and achievements, the event is now clouded with rumors that Gypsy Rose wasn't welcome at the ceremony. Whether it was Mia's decision or a move by the university itself, the whispers are all pointing to Gypsy Rose's controversial reputation as the reason for the snub. Sources suggest her presence was considered such a potential disruption that it wasn't just about Mia, it was about avoiding drama for the entire graduating class. Now, the internet is ablaze with questions. Was this decision really about shielding Mia's big moment, or is there a deeper family rift coming to light?
Because the reason why Mia is having a hard time finding a nursing job is because Gypsy is a circus. And do you guys remember the fact that Mia, her dad, and her mom were standing in front of Mommy, Dead and Dearest, smiling? Let's spin a block on it. Although I believe she was in high school at this time, it shows the family that she comes from. And it also shows that she's okay with this. And honestly, for a hospital, she's a huge liability. One thing about a hospital is they do not want to deal with litigation. When you have someone that their sister unalived their mom, and you're standing in front of the movie theater smiling with your parents about it, being that the movie came out, that seems like quite the liability to me.
Gypsy's actions have allegedly thrown Mia's life into total chaos, leaving consequences that might be beyond fixing. According to Lawless, Gypsy's sudden entrance into Mia's world isn't just drama. It could seriously mess with Mia's future. Rumor has it, this twist might make it nearly impossible for Mia to secure a job in nursing. Can you imagine? A single move potentially wrecking someone's career aspirations? It's giving scandalous, and we're here for every messy detail.
And they may end up in litigation if something happens. They are not willing to take that risk. Now, I know nurses, they're short on nurses, but child, I would be surprised if she found a job, considering this is out there, and the way she acted on the show last season. Now, I get it. She's young. She could have made a mistake, but I just feel like it says a whole lot. Also, do y'all remember this? Do you remember this where she said all these itches want to be Playboy bunnies or something like that, but she wants to be Hugh Hefner? In the height of this P. Diddy situation, she came out as this. What does that say? I'm telling you, every day she makes herself look sillier and sillier. And that's because she has parents that don't really know what's going on. Look, she may be a sweet girl. I don't really know her. But considering from the family she is coming from, she should have been on her P's and Q's.
Seriously, what's going through their minds? It really makes you question how they view the whole bizarre history of Gypsy, her mother, and the chaotic events that led to this point. But here's where things get juicier. Mia and the authorities reportedly didn't want Gypsy at the event. And honestly, it's understandable. As Nina pointed out, Gypsy has a knack for turning every situation into a spectacle. You can easily imagine her stealing the spotlight from Mia, soaking up all the attention, and maybe even stirring up some jealousy-fueled drama.
Okay, OTD. Shirt is from Zara. Shorts are Julia's Closet from Amazon. Shoes are Reebok. Purse, also Amazon. Kate Spade, permanent. I don't remember where. And yeah. Your turn.
Okay, so purse is from Target, leggings are from Lululemon, shirt is from Target, necklace is from Target, nails are from Target.
Shoes,
Oh yeah, and my shoes are also from Target, and my bracelets are from Kristy. For a long time, I have been very jealous of my sister. And it's stupid, but the simple fact that she grew up with our father.
That Gypsy was still married. Where's your respect for Ryan? You may not like the guy at all, but like that, for me, that says a lot about your character. And you are not doing anything at all. Y'all are making irrational decisions based on short-term happiness instead of, you know, thinking long-term.
Watching Mia and Kristy fight, I'm just like, People get affected by my choices. I get affected by my choices. But at the end of the day, I have to also live with myself, and if nobody else is gonna make me happy, I have to do what's gonna make me happy.
Classic Gypsy, right? Now, let's talk about the authorities stepping in. This wasn't just a suggestion, it was a bold power move. Gypsy needs a wake-up call. She's not just another person trying to move on with life. She's a felon, and her actions carry real weight. By barring her from events like this, it sends a clear message. Her past isn't something she can simply brush off. Remember, Gypsy doesn't even fully acknowledge her role in the crime. In her mind, Nick's the one at fault, serving time for what they did together. But when she's consistently excluded from spaces like this, maybe it'll finally hit her. Freedom doesn't mean she's free from judgment. In the eyes of many, she's just as guilty as Nick, and maybe even deserves the same punishment: life behind bars.
The reason why I started speaking against Gypsy Rose was this.
I don't associate myself as a murderer because if you think about it, yes, I had a part to play in it. I asked Nick for help. And how that conversation started was, you know, he was saying that he would protect me from anyone. I said anyone. He said yes. I said even my mother. He said yes. And then the plan kind of formed from there. But he's the one that did the actual kill, not me. I can't kill anyone. That's why he's in trouble to begin with, because he's the one that did it. So when they say I'm a murderer, I don't identify as that.
After I saw that clip, I started doing my research, and I stumbled on her interrogation on YT. After seeing Gypsy Rose's interrogation, it brought me to tears to see how she was, and I knew something was wrong. But it was even worse when I saw her co-defendant's interrogation, and that really had me in tears. When I saw that he was worried about her the entire interrogation, and Gypsy Rose did not flinch or give a damn about him her entire interrogation, I realized who she was. And that was before I even found out about her microdeletion. What made things worse for me is the fact that she used a man with autism and low IQ that was collecting a permanent disability check. That's when I really realized that she preyed on the weak, and she is manipulative and will do whatever.
And just when you think the drama couldn't get messier, Gypsy took to Instagram afterward. She wasn't at the event physically, but surprise, she FaceTimed in. Oh, and the cherry on top, Ken Urker popped into Mia's Instagram comments to congratulate her. The layers of tension and drama here are exactly what you'd expect from this circle of chaos. It's like every move they make comes with a side of scandal. When it comes to the community's thoughts, the drama's spilling over, and opinions are loud and clear. One person on Facebook called Gypsy out, claiming that instead of attending her sister Mia's graduation, she stayed home to rest and FaceTimed instead, probably using the excuse that she wasn't feeling well. The post went on to allege that this isn't a one-time thing. Mia has shared moments from other important events, and Gypsy reportedly never showed up for any of them. Not one. Yet somehow, Gypsy managed to make time for her own book signings and jet-setting adventures with Ken. The commenter didn't hold back, saying, "Of course Gypsy is all about Gypsy. If it's not about her, she's not interested." And just to twist the knife a little deeper, they added that this behavior wasn't a result of her pregnancy. It's been going on for a while. Another person chimed in, pointing out how Mia did so much for Gypsy's baby shower, yet Gypsy couldn't return the favor by supporting Mia's big day. They found it odd that there weren't any pictures of Gypsy at the graduation, questioning if she even showed up. Others speculated that the absence might have something to do with the enabler, suggesting there's more to the story behind the scenes. One commenter even said, honestly, it's probably for the best. The shade is real, and the community is not holding back. So that's what everyone else is saying. But now it's your turn to weigh in. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this conversation isn't over yet. And hey, thank you so much for tuning in today. Your support means the world, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and share this with a friend who'd love the tea.